There are spy agencies in New Zealand, according to Mr. Peters. You say there are not?
There are not. No. Look, I mean,
I'm presuming, and it's total presumption on my part, that he's talking about the embassy or the.
I don't have a clue what he's talking about. But we haven't. I mean, unless someone does something secretly that we don't know about, there is absolutely no evidence to support that. The former head of the GCSB says he's never seen anything. The current head of the GCSB says it's not true. And frankly, we have a bit of an agreement within the Five Eyes, which is America, Canada, Australia, and the UK. We don't spy on each other.
Warner Brothers, with regard to that email, do you believe that email is genuine?
No.
One
thing I can tell you for an absolute fact was I didn't have private meetings with Kevin Tijihara when he first came down. That's the first thing. The second thing is I had never heard of .com and I didn't know his immigration status. It's impossible that I had that conversation. And I wouldn't have known that the process worked with the Attorney General because that happened a lot later. So in the end, I'm not a party to the emails. They say it's fake. They know. They've got their own records. Computer forensic people looked at it and said it's fake. But in the end, what I can tell you, forgetting about whether it's fake or not, I assume it is because that's what all these guys say, I know for an absolute fact, there is no conspiracy on my part to get the guy in, and I haven't had those conversations. And in the end, we've filed all of our documents in court because this is a court process. It's not just me saying this. Crown Law goes through all of my records. I mean, when you're Prime Minister, everything's kept. Every meeting, every email, everything's kept. And I'm telling you now, the first I can ever recall hearing that guy was the 19th of January 2012.
The SIS was dealing with it?
Yeah, so at a very low level.
Hang on, the SIS was dealing with the .com scenario, right? You're the head of the SIS.
Yep.
Why weren't you informed?
Well, the director...
Why were you not paying attention?
No, it's not so much that. The director himself wasn't aware of .com until the raid. After the raid, believe it or not, and that's because the SIS, in so much they handle it, they handle sort of background checks, and they do that for tens of thousands of people, of which he was just one. Literally, the director himself had not heard of the guy till after the raid.
But considering the background to the guy, to .com, considering his background, considering his convictions, considering all that we now know, why didn't the level of alertness rise to a higher level?
Well, that's an interesting question, and I don't have the answer to that. All I can say is it goes through a process, but what people said, this was the case that was put up, and this was the case put up by, don't forget, .com had his lawyers and his consultants and everyone working on his part, so he was fighting to get in. We weren't fighting to get him in. Well, the point there was that he said, well, all of these things happened a long time ago. They were wiped clean under the clean slate provisions in Germany. They were very old. It was when he was younger.
Still only 40, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, but these things happened when he was 19.
Just one more thing. When the email, the Warner Brothers email, was disowned by Warner Brothers, they said it did not happen, he did not write it, it's a fake.
Yeah.
Your comment was, I don't recall those conversations. You didn't say,
because
in all fairness, you did not say they did not happen. You were not as adamant. You left yourself an escape clause there.
Yeah, but I did the stand-up before Warner Brothers said it was a fake. So you don't see that on TV, but that was part of my daily stand-up, and that happened at 3 o'clock, and Warner Brothers came out because they couldn't get hold of Kevin Tijihara, and by the time they got hold of him, which was much later in the afternoon, he said it's a fake.
But why did you need them to say it's a fake when...
Because I'm not a party to the email.
Okay, but why couldn't you say right from the get-go those conversations did not happen?
Because they didn't happen, but the point is that all I can tell you is, when you're confronted with something like that, you just say, well, you say the truth, which is, look, I'm telling you now, that conversation never happened. I had no level of knowledge of that guy prior. But
those who would like to bring you down, will say, well, it's all very well for him to be saying that now that Warner Brothers have denied it. He didn't say it himself at the beginning, so he's just waiting to be covered. Now that they've said it, he can say it.
No, that's not true. I mean, as I said to you, I do stand-ups that are programmed in my diary. They came out with their denial much later.